What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of MoBetta Sports. I'm your host, Antonio, aka Mr. MoBetta. And man, well, we're back here again, and it is time to address the unfortunate loss 30-15 to the Georgia Bulldogs on Saturday. A very disappointing game, to say the least, for a multitude of reasons. But before we kind of get into it, I first want to say that DKR, being my first game that I've been to in quite some time, that was one of the most electric atmospheres I've ever witnessed in my life. Just the overall how loud everybody got on every third down nearly, on every major situation, every big play. It was so loud I could literally not believe it. It was an awesome atmosphere. The drone show was amazing. I truly had a blast. Me and my dad attended. It was amazing. It would have been way, way sweeter of an experience, of course, if we had come out with the W. However, just being there, witnessing DKR firsthand, witnessing how passionate and how loud and how much pride is being taken in this football team now, it's amazing, man. The last time I attended a game was I believe it was a triple overtime win against Kansas State way back, man. I can't even remember the year, probably like 2014, 2015, something like that. And the stadium was not even a smidget as loud as it was on Saturday. I can tell you that for a 100% fact. As y'all can probably hear right now, my voice is not 100% back. We were going crazy. I was loud. I was having a blast. It was a great time. But now, to get into the game itself, without getting too detailed and too specific, because we'll go into a video, we'll go watch the game back over, and we'll kind of go into detail about everything that I see. But just from watching it back, and I've watched the game a few times back over now, the most disappointing thing about that game was simply the play of Quinn. I cannot say it any more simply than that. The defense was elite, and it doesn't look like that on the score. The score was 30-15. Mind you, our defense had to stop 4 drives inside of our territory. At least three of those drives were inside of our 30-yard line. Held them to 20 points in those 4 drives. Georgia didn't even have to move the ball but 30 yards, 40 yards for four drives. Offense couldn't stay on the field, not get off the field. They certainly got off the field plenty. They couldn't stay on the field. I felt like Sark was not in rhythm play calling, but at the same time, at the end of the day, Quinn was just not seeing the field. One of the things coming into the season about Quinn, one of the things that he had to answer was his pocket presence better? A few things he had to answer, I should say. Was his pocket presence better? Are his feet better in the pocket? And can he progress through his reads? Right? This game on Saturday was the first time this season we have seen Quinn regress massively. We thought all of these things were taken care of because we saw how he played against Michigan. We saw what he did against Oklahoma. Several times in those games, namely in the Michigan game, the pocket is breaking down around him. It's collapsing. Michigan's got a good pass rush. And Quinn steps up in the pocket, whether he's got to step up to run or he's stepping up, maneuvering in the pocket to be able to plant his feet and throw the ball over the middle of the field. And one thing that made him immediately a Heisman contender in that game is his awareness of the field. His field awareness has been on point all season long, to the point that it gets, we as Texas fans, I think, get spoiled that Quinn so effortlessly hits these 20 to 25 yard shots over the middle, even 15 yards, whatever. These medium over the field throws, he can spread the ball across the field. He can any point of the field from the pocket, and we've seen him do it, and we've seen him be extremely, extremely effective. So when you see a game like we saw on Saturday where at halftime the offense had amassed a total of 15 yards. The offense had amassed a total of 15 yards at halftime of that game. We had 17 yards passing and -2 yards rushing. I will never forget looking at that stat on the scoreboard. I literally was like, what in the absolute hell is going on? We have yet to see Texas play that bad of a game. I can't even remember the last time Texas played that bad of an offensive half. That bad. 15 total yards. You're talking about an offense that is recording over 450 yards a game. Y'all understand? And I'm sure as Texas fans you understand. And the worst part of it is that there was so much left on the field. The play where Quinn got sacked by Jalen Walker, well, one of the many, I know. I think there were 7 sacks in that game. 7 sacks in the first half at least. But one of the sacks where we were backed up deep into our territory, and Jalen Walker nearly sacked Quinn for a safety. Everyone's giving the O-line so much shit, saying the O-line played a terrible game. And albeit it wasn't their best game, for sure it wasn't their best game, it was by far not their worst game. Okay? Cam Williams did get beat a couple of times on the outside, but primarily, and in the example I'm about to give you, what happened was you're getting pressure in the pocket from the edges because Quinn is drifting backwards in the pocket, and then he's not stepping up until it's way too late. That play that Jalen Walker sacked him near the end zone is a perfect example. Quinn is back in the pocket already. Coming from shotgun, you're already standing 4 to 5 yards behind the line of scrimmage, right? There's no need to drop an additional 3 to 4 yards. And that's what he did. And when you do that and you are put in second and third and long situations because you're not establishing the run game on first and second down, you're put in second and third and long situations. A defense like Georgia, a defensive line like Georgia's, is able to pin their ears back and get to the quarterback, right? The only way you can circumvent that from happening is by setting us up for second and third and shorts, third and medium even. 4 to 5 yards is fine. But even in those scenarios, even in our third and shorts that we were able to get to, take, for example, the blitz by Dalen Everett, where he comes off the edge and obliterates Quinn from his blind side. That play alone, and Quinn fumbles, that play alone, Quinn has Isaiah Bond flash in front of him on a slant route, essentially. Isaiah Bond is the fastest player on the field. I think number 18 was covering him for Georgia. Is a linebacker in man coverage. And you're telling me you didn't just immediately dump that ball off. Immediately. He flashed right in front of his eyes. And when he didn't see Isaiah Bond flash in front of his eyes, Silas Bolden was running wide open on a little in route, a choice route. It's a little choice route. Wide open. Get the ball off to him. It has nothing to do with holding the ball too long. You didn't hold the ball too long. You're not making the read. And that happened far too often in the game. Quinn did not make the read. Steve Sark a few times tried to force runs up the middle. Trying to, again, this is one of those let your nuts hang, play bully ball, run up the middle of Georgia's defense and show them that we're the bigger, badder team. When Texas has not been that type of run team ever, as Sark has been there. Not once. Not in one single season that Sark has been our head coach have we been a bully ball up the middle offense in the run game. Now, when we hit our buck sweeps and we get our design pass, our RPOs or our running back swing routes, and we get our players in space and you get them running side to side, that may not be the way that people like for us to gain yards on the ground, but that is when we are most effective. When Texas And when Sark dial up these buck sweeps, counter options, these wide zones, that is when our athletic and massive O-line get out and they get in front of people and they can really wreak havoc. And I felt like there were a couple of times when Georgia's defense, outplayed us in the run game and, outfit us. They fit their gaps and set the edges very well. But that shouldn't make you abandon the run game altogether. And I felt like we were abandoning the run game as the game kind of started to get away from us in the first half. Which I get it, but when your quarterback is not making reads downfield, he's not hitting deep throws downfield, he's not moving in the pocket well, and he's under constant pressure, and he's obviously rattled, you have to establish the run game. That is the only way you can continue moving forward. You have to establish the run game. And in the second half, we came out and we did do that. I think Sark ran, if I'm not mistaken, he ran the ball 4 or 5 straight plays coming out in the second half. And they all moved the sticks. Every single time we were moving 4 to 5 yards, picking up first downs, and we eventually score on that first drive, that opening drive, right? That is what we needed from the jump. And I felt like he was too quick to try and get the play action going when Georgia's defensive secondary was not afraid of Quinn pushing the ball deep. You cannot run and you can't be a play action based offense or an RPO based offense when you're not establishing the run. And we didn't. We weren't establishing the run. As soon as Steve got some adversity in the run game, we went away from it and started going instead to screens to the outside, little pop passes. And all that Georgia's secondary was doing, and I swear on my life, I cannot even count the number of times that I saw Georgia's deepest defender sitting at 10 yards or under from the ball, from the line of scrimmage. You are never, ever going to be able to run the ball on that if you don't take shots deep. And then we couldn't throw the ball underneath because they're anticipating that Quinn is getting rattled under pressure and just dumping the ball off underneath. So they're just sitting and waiting on it. It's exactly why Dalen Everett was able to get the interception off Quinn. When Quinn is immediately on the play where Dalen Everett made a couple of great plays in that game for Georgia. The strip sack fumble and the interception, both deep in Texas territory. On the interception, Dalen Everett and Georgia's defense show a man coverage look. His shoulders are square to Gunnar Helm, as are the linebackers to Matthew Golden. But as soon as the ball is snapped, they open their shoulders, they open up, and Dalen Everett just sits there. He doesn't move a muscle. And Quinn throws the ball in less than 1 second. He catches and throws the ball immediately. He does not even take a split second to look up and just verify that they're in man coverage. Gunnar Helm literally ran wide open down the sideline. Quinn could have put that ball on Gunnar Helm. That could have been an easy 25 to 30 yard gain, if not more. And it's things like that that are just so frustrating because though you cannot make those kind of mistakes in the biggest stages of college football, period. And especially not if you're trying to be considered a first round level draft pick. For the life of me, if Quinn could just not only get his awareness up and his pocket presence, and his feet in the pocket, but if he could just deliver a ball downfield further than 25 yards, the pass interference that we got early in the game when Quinn threw to Ryan Wingo had 2 steps on Dalen Everett, and Quinn underthrew him. I can't understand how, when you have an arm that strong, how your deep ball is your weakest point, is the weakest point of your game. The offense playing bad is one thing, The decision making from Sark is another. I understand that in those games when we're down, or at that point in the second half, we're down 23-8. We get the ball into plus territory, into Georgia's territory, deep into Georgia's territory. And instead of taking our field goals, I can at least think of twice where we absolutely could have taken field goals and got points. And no, it's not a touchdown. We're not going to get all of the points back in one go. But those two field goals probably put us in range towards the end of the game to be pushing for 31 points. We wouldn't have to be scrambling and forcing plays down the field if Sark makes better decisions in critical moments like that. So all around, I think it was a poor performance, not only by the players, offensively primarily. I felt like our defense did a hell of a job for what they were given. Now, there is some improvement to be done in the run game. I saw Anthony Hill and Mo Blackwell both fit very terribly on a couple of runs. That's happening far too often. But I really, at this point, I can't be upset at all with the defensive play. Andrew Makuba is a dog. Jahdae Barron is the best defensive back in the country. They're week in and week out, and every single week since Jahdae Barron has been a starter for Texas, he has made some type of incredibly critical play in a game. Then we have Andrew Makuba, who I don't know if y'all saw Andrew Makuba's interception, but if you did, and if you really watch football and you understand what is going on, Texas on that play was running a cover 3, right? They're running a cover 3 look. Andrew Makuba is supposed to have curl flat, so he's supposed to have anything from the curl to the flat. He's playing a curl flat, basically. He sees that there's nobody on his side of the field, so instead of covering grass, he immediately turns to find work, what is called finding work. He immediately turns to find a receiver in the area and runs, sprints to it. And as he's sprinting, Carson Beck throws it right to him. It was absolute, perfectly executed safety play. It was magnificent. It was beautiful. Incredible. Absolutely love Andrew Makuba. He's another one. He is another amazing addition to the defense who has shown up every single week. And then you have Jahdae Barron. Not only did he catch the tip pass, no did he, deep in our territory, in perhaps the most controversial play you will see maybe in the next decade, he intercepts the pass as Arian Smith is running into him. Carson Beck releases it. He intercepts the pass. I think it was a 3rd and 7, 3rd and 8. He intercepts the pass at the first down marker. And this is in the second half at this point. We've just scored. It's 23-8. And he intercepts the pass and takes it all the way back down inside of our 10-yard line. The read on that play was immaculate. He never even moved his feet. He let Arian Smith run into him, backed up a couple of steps, and was immediately there for that interception. The interception that, of course, was called pass interference, and which was absolute bullshit. And I don't think there is not a single person in the country who is going to deny the fact that that was a complete bullshit call, except for Georgia fans because they're delusional. But for that pass interference to be called, and for the refs to go not only announce the call, they gathered first, then they announced the call, then they spot the ball. And when I tell you, the stadium erupted in boos as the instant replay was played. Before the bottles came out, the stadium absolutely erupted. It was absolutely insane. So loud and so long they booed that the refs overturned a pass interference call. Never, ever seen it in my life. You'll probably never see it again in that fashion. But it was incredible, man. It was amazing. So then we get back 23-15, and Georgia's defense finally actually does start whipping our O-line's ass. There was a couple of plays where they were getting around Cam Williams. They were getting around Kelvin Banks. I thought up the middle, there was not a whole lot of pressure to be had. We had some critical drops down the field. Quintravion Wisner dropped a huge screenplay that probably would have gone for 50 to 60 yards. Overall, just a bad game. It's a bad game. It sucks because the defense gave such a valiant effort. I will say it till I'm blue in the face. The defense gave the most valiant effort, bro. They did everything they could. And really, they did everything we could have asked of them. Carson Beck was like 23 of 41 or something like that. Maybe 40 something for 175 yards and 3 interceptions. He had less than 60% completion. Less than 100 yards rushing on the ground, I believe. I believe it was less than 100 yards rushing. Maybe it was like right over 100 yards. Man, we just gave them so many opportunities to score on our side of the field. It's like when you couple or turnovers on our side of the field with also going, what were we, 2 of 14, 2 of 15 on third down, 1 for 4 on fourth down. It's hard to win the game, man. It's hard to win the game. It's almost impossible to win the game in that way. And we proved it. With that being said, I highly underestimated Georgia's defensive line. I don't think I underestimated their defense in general because there was, again, I'll say it again, there was so many opportunities left on the field. We'll never know. We won't know until we see them again how it would have shaken out. But I truly believe we had every opportunity to win that game and win it handily, to be honest. We didn't put ourselves in the best position. We had poor quarterback play. We had at times poor offensive line play. We didn't stick to the ground game enough. And simply, we just didn't play or coach good enough. Kirby Smart has still got a good team over there. Kirby Smart is still an excellent coach. And, hey, tough games like this are to be expected. For me, I don't care that we lost. It was more so the way we lost. Because it's very uncharacteristic of this team that, as we've seen, not only this year, but dating back to last season. People are so quick to forget that Quinn led us to 12-1, to our first playoff appearance, to within one play of possibly being in the national championship. It happens. It's football. All you can do is go back next week, prepare for the game better. We're going to Nashville. We're going to see Vandy, a Vandy team that beat Bama, for what it's worth. And we got to take care of business. I still genuinely believe that we have the best team in the country whenever we're on. When we have our quarterback in sync, our quarterback playing well and seeing the field, I genuinely believe there's no better team in the country. We're just going to have to see it for the rest of the season. From here on out, like Sark always says, from here on out, every week is an SEC championship game. Go out and take care of business, and I think we'll be just fine. I think we're going to bounce back strong against Vandy. I think I wouldn't be surprised to have a statement win. Kind of one of those this is our bounce back. We stumbled. We're not falling. We got knocked down, not knocked out. And we're going to be just fine. Anyways, that's going to do it for me, y'all. If y'all enjoyed the video, do me a favor. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Hit the like button on the channel so that way, we get it spread to the YouTube algorithm. The algorithm is everything these days. Hitting the like button takes nothing but a second, and it really helps me out. And, of course, turn those notification bells on so you never miss anything that we have coming for you. Because remember, no matter where you look, there's no better place than MoBetta Sports for your latest football takes. I am Antonio, aka Mr. MoBetta, and I am out. Peace and hook 'em.